Welcome back. I'm back again with another Reddit post for us to chop up and have a good discussion. This one, this one is another Am I the A-hole? And the title is My best friend slept with a man in a relationship, so I told his girlfriend, am I the a-hole? So I went up with some friends the other night, one of which is a man with a girlfriend of almost 3 years. Let's call him Eric. I've never met these people before, but my best friend, let's call her Emily, was friends with them in high school, and we all got along super well. About an hour into the night, me and the other girls in the group noticed that Emily and Eric were being super touchy, and it made the rest of the group very uncomfortable because we all knew he had a girlfriend. Later in the night, we all start getting a bit drunk and they start making out. I'm talking to the other girls there. We all agree that someone needs to say something. I was told by the girls that I should be the one to do it because I was the least involved. Don't know about that one, the least involved one in the friend group. So I DM'd the girlfriend on Insta saying that I saw her boyfriend making out with another girl at the club, not mentioning Emily's name. At this point it was 3 a.m, so I didn't think she would see it until the morning. Girl, that is a bit of a tricky one because, well, people and their relationships, I'm just not one to interfere at all, but that's me. But on the other hand, if that was one of my closest friends and we were really tight and that was my sister, there's no way I would have confronted him first, because I would have said to him, listen, if you are going to be doing this crap, you're going to tell my friend or you're going to let her go because she deserves better than this. But if it's my girlfriend and I can see that either I don't like him or I can see that he's shady, I'm definitely going to tell her, because I would want that done for me. If you check for me, if you care about me and we're close and we're good friends or we're sisters like you said, you're supposed to have my back and tell me, listen, this dude is out here making you look like a fool. This is what he's doing. I would appreciate that, but that's just me. Not every woman is like that. Not everybody's like that. Anyway, let's continue. She continued to say, we all get back to Emily's house around 4 a.m. because she hosted the pre-game. We all get back to Emily's house around 4 a.m. because she hosted the pre-game. As soon as we get there, her and Eric go upstairs to have nookie time, and we're up there for the next hour while everyone else there is waiting to go home. I was talking with the other girls there, you like to talkie, and we all agreed that we weren't mad at Emily, we were just mad at Eric. But when Emily finally came downstairs, she starts talking about how good the nookie was and how she wants a relationship with Eric, even though she feels bad. Did she really feel bad though? Although she's not responsible for, she's not accountable to Eric's girlfriend. Eric is. He's the one in a relationship. She, at the end of the day, if you're aware that that man is in a relationship, you know he's got a girlfriend, you should do the decent thing and just don't go there. But she's already chosen to go there. So she really don't care about the girlfriend and she wants Eric for herself. That's what it sounds like so far. Anyway, let's continue. Okay. She then tells the group to keep it between us, which is when I tell her that I already texted the girlfriend, but not to worry because I didn't mention her name. She then gets incredibly mad at me, telling me to mind my business and that I should have never done that because she was worried it was going to get back to her. For context, Emily has had a past of putting men before her friends. Oh, she's one of them chicks. She's a pick-me. She sounds like a real pick-me. And I have intense trauma of my ex cheating on me publicly and nobody let me know. So the situation really triggered me. I get why she was so quick to tell, because girlfriend didn't even stop for 5 minutes to say, let me think about this before I go and tell so-and-so about it. She picked up that phone and texted her 3 o'clock in the morning, man. She did not waste any time. So I get it now. It makes sense why she was so quick to just send that message, because she was triggered. And that's fair enough. I get it. It's fair enough. I'm not mad at her for that. About 5 minutes later, the girlfriend sees my message and calls Eric, and they start fighting over the phone. Apparently, the girlfriend somehow found out it was Emily. Ooh. In brackets, she wrote, which Emily says is because I sent a picture of them, but the picture I sent was of them holding hands, still inappropriate, with her completely cropped out of the photo with only her arm visible, close brackets. Emily then kicks me out of her house and says I can't stay there for the night, but I was only in town visiting, so I had to drive 4 hours back to my apartment at 6 a.m. on no sleep. This was about 2 days ago, and Emily hasn't spoken to me since. She removed me off her Snapchat and unshared her location with me. I really thought I was doing the right thing at the time because I've always been one to stick up for the girls, but now I'm starting to think I really messed up and I feel horrible. Am I wrong for what I did? What should I tell Emily? Please help. Well, first of all, I'm going to just drop my little comment in there, then I'm going to read some of the comments that was left by other people. I think it's a touchy subject when it comes to telling your friends about their man, because not everybody wants to hear the truth. Some women, realistically, some women, let's be real, some women know that the man is cheating, but because they're so insecure, they don't want to be alone, they're so in love with the guy, they're more wrapped up in him than he is in them. They would rather have, they've got the mindset of like half a man is better than no man. So she clearly isn't appreciating you looking out for her. She's not seeing that that's what you were doing. She's seeing that you interfered in her business. You've put it out there so now everybody knows she's dealing with a man who's cheating on her. Your association, your group that you're in, everybody knows he's cheating on you or has been cheating for some time, and that you are dealing and putting up with some loser guy, because that's what he is. He's a downright loser. So I get why Emily can be a little bit vexed about that, but I think also it could be the shock. It might just be the shock of it all too, because I believe a woman knows when a man is cheating, even if she's not willing to admit it. She always knows. We've got that innate sense within us that tells us when something is not right. So I just think maybe give Emily some time. I wouldn't say anything to her right now. You weren't doing it maliciously. You did it because you were looking out for her. As you said, you're a girl's girl, so I wouldn't even beat myself up about it. The damage is done. You don't want to act as if you didn't mean to look out for her and then make things worse. So I would just let her just deal with this on her own from now on. Anyway, Level Woodpecker 456 said, not the a-hole. Emily is a shitty person. I agree. It's obvious she's going to be mad at you, but that has no bearing on whether what you did was the right thing to do or not. That's not the kind of person I would want to be friends with anyway. I agree. Artemis's Cutie said, totally agree. Standing up for someone getting hurt is the right move, even if it costs a friendship. Shows your loyalty and integrity more than anything. Mindless Profile 6115 said, you did that man's girlfriend a massive, massive favor, so thank you for that. Pono, I don't know how you say that, Pono, P-S-U-X-I, whatever. She said she did herself a massive favor too because Emily is so yikes, right? Then 1000 Nails went on to say, I would be immensely grateful. Some had the decency to tell me. I guess you mean someone had the decency to tell me, you're doing the right thing. Let your friend live with the consequences of her selfishness. Hope girlfriend leaves Eric. What a tool. Yeah, I agree. She's not realizing that you did her a favor right now, but she will in the long run. Soul Art said, not the a-hole. Your friend is an a-hole. Be happy that she cut contact with you. And yeah, you should be mad at Emily too. The one in a relationship that cheats is crappy, but someone that was willing to bed someone in a relationship is also crappy too. I agree, because you knew the man was in a relationship. Have boundaries and standards. No Statistician 4201 said, girl, both of them are crappy people. Let's stop excusing people that knowingly get involved with people that are in relationships. I agree. Yes, he is the one in a relationship, but she is no better than he. No better than he. Both lack good morals and integrity, absolutely. Why do you want to be friends with someone like that? Count your blessings, because people like Emily don't care who they hurt, I agree. She could betray a friend and even a family member if in the end she gets what she wants. People like her are selfish and only think about themselves. Short Operations 8979 said, "You did the right thing. Emily just sucks, and so does Eric, obviously, not the a-hole." Ecstatic Prophet 775 said, "Yep, sucks is the right word for sure." Honest, hold on if I can read this one. Honest Alcabaris 71 said, "F Emily, she's a crap friend and a crap person." Wait. Take this as a life lesson and go forth to make better friends. That I agree with. Pipe Inevitable 9383 said, "Not the a-hole. Ditch Emily. If she acts like with men who are taken," I guess it meant to say, if she acts like this with men who are taken, then she isn't going to be a good friend. Block and ignore. Absolutely. Dry Potential 1960 said, "Not the a-hole. Cat is out of the bag anyway, so tell the girlfriend they went and effed too. And tell Emily that if she doesn't want that reputation, she shouldn't do the SHIT. She shouldn't do the ish. Tell her if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it probably is a duck." Few Soup 9799 said, "Empty it, not the a-hole. I wish someone would have told me, to be honest." Manager Opening said, "You would only be the a-hole if you stay friends with this S person." The trash took itself out, not the a-hole, said Floridis Leela. You did the right thing. Sucks that the party was at Emily the homewrecker's house and she kicked you out, but that was to be expected once she found out. You could have waited until after you were back home from the trip to tell Eric's girlfriend, so you could have secured your lodging for the night. But you still didn't do anything wrong. Also, keep in mind that these new friends of yours likely knew Emily would react this way if they had been the one to tell. They didn't want to risk their friendship with Emily or their lodging for the night, but were okay with you doing so, which is messed up. That's very true. Those don't know how long they've been friends, but those girls definitely threw her on the bus. They knew how Emily would react, and they're right. They're correct. They were only looking out for themselves and making sure they secure their bed for the night. Very selfish. Definitely need to trash a lot of them. Dude62 said, "Not the a-hole. People like the man and your friend deserve to be caught. You did the right thing. The man's girlfriend is now safe from an a-hole." Brave Lime 4112 said, "Not the a-hole, and you're also not friends with Emily anymore." Absolutely not. Unhappy Energy 741 said, "You did the right thing. You are not the a-hole. You have a strong moral compass and Emily does not. You need to find more like-minded friends. You are better off without that kind of drama. I wouldn't say anything to Emily. She's currently enjoying the FO portion of the literal FA." Fragrant Initial 3828 said, "Not the a-hole. You have won by getting rid of her and saved Eric's girlfriend from a lifetime of disappointment. Also a bit weird that no one stuck up for you when Emily kicked you out, since they all told you to get involved. Stay true to your values and get all of these people the F out of your life. They're either endorsing this behavior or are too scared to stand up for what's right." Absolutely. Find like-minded people and stay strong. You're not in the wrong at all. SWGOH 89030 said, You're the a-hole. YTA, what they did wasn't right, but how is it any of your business to tell the girlfriend?" Positive Lychee 7736 said, "Why would you act surprised that she hasn't spoken to you, lol? You did F her over even if you were doing the right thing. You're not the a-hole, but losing her as a friend is the natural outcome here." I don't think she's losing anything, if I'm honest, Positive Lychee 7736, because Emily wasn't a good friend, and at the end of the day, she thought she was doing the right thing by her so-called friend, only for it to backfire. So, good riddance to bad rubbish. Easy Refuse. Based on OP's post history and language, this is fake AI slop. Ignorant Ignorant Sage said now she knows how you will react when she sleeps with your boyfriend, so she doesn't like that. Problem Mountain 2792 added, not the a-hole, I couldn't be friends with someone with a low moral compass and condones cheating, etc. Also, who your friends are, it says a lot about you. True. I'm surprised you would want to stay friends with her, to be honest. Very true. Thrill NYE Science Guy said, I'm going to probably be downvoted for this, but your group decided one cheater was totally okay, but the other was a villain. Cheating is a character flaw. Being a friend or a certain gender doesn't alleviate being a terrible person. I wonder if Eric's girlfriend also agrees with you that Emily didn't do anything wrong. I wonder if Emily will ever decide your future boyfriend would be better being hers. Eric's girlfriend deserves to know he's trash, of course. Emily thinks you suck. Not sure why you would expect otherwise. Just because she thinks that doesn't mean she's right. Not the a-hole. First in Space 1976. Wow, Emily has some issues. I agree. She knew Eric had a girlfriend but chose to make out and have funky time with him. What kind of crappy A person does that? Are you sure you want to be friends with someone like that? She sounds like a disgusting, very confused little girl. I recommend you stop wasting your time worrying about this. She's stuck in her own little fantasy world where cheating is okay. There's a word you use for girls like her, and it's 4 letters, beginning with S, L, and ending with T. I'm not really keen on calling women those types of names, but I do feel she is definitely low vibrational, possibly insecure, more likely jealous, and is desperate for male attention. Anyway, they continue to say, move on, you don't owe her anything, and if she's so ready to drop your friendship, screw her, so are you. Romacoy Redbus added, you said we all got a bit drunk. What if Emily had called law enforcement and gave them your registration and you got caught drunk driving when you left at 6 a.m, get banned, lose job? How would you feel? After all she'd be doing to morally right thing in keeping drunk drivers off the road, or did you magically sober up? Okay. Lassaise yours added, honestly, you should have just minded your business. It'd be different if it was someone you were directly associated with, like a close friend, with a guy or a girlfriend of the guy. But you self-inserted yourself in a situation that has nothing to do with you, literally at all. I'm okay with the downvotes, but just mind your business next time. Carrie said, rule number 1 of these things, if you are not involved directly, ignore it and avoid it. Eventually it's going to explode, but at least next time you will not be caught on the blast. I agree and disagree at the same time. I feel like when you have morals, it's very difficult to sit there and know that someone is being done a disservice and be okay with it, even if that you don't know that person like Batty and Bench. You don't have to know someone Batty and Bench to do the right thing. It's like saying if you see someone being attacked on the road, that you're going to just pretend like you're not seeing it. At least call the police. If you be human. Where's your humanity? It's about empathy and putting yourself in someone else's shoe and realizing that this could be you. So I don't necessarily agree with that, and I just think you're just making excuses for the cheating person. Of course, yes, eventually they will get caught, but why let that woman suffer or that person suffer so much more longer unnecessarily because you don't want to be involved? This is part of the problem we have with the world today. People are so busy and so quick to turn a blind eye to things that they should be standing up for. We don't realize that it's to our detriment in the end, and we live in fear now because people are scared to speak out. People are scared to be attacked with weapons, their lives being taken, which is understandable. But I think the more we shy away from standing up and speaking out and doing the right things, the worse society is going to get. Anyway, let me not rant no more. Carry on. Pedantic Medic said, being older, I no longer agree with this assessment. Considering the probability of contacting and spreading various diseases, something nobody else has mentioned, no. I am watching two friends going through cancer treatments from genital warts they received as a gift from a cheating partner. Unless you think risking half of someone's lifespan or the ability to have children is a reasonable thing to keep quiet about. Yeah, that's wild. Minus Profit 6115 said, anyone who knowingly gets involved with someone in a relationship is a POS. Who cares about them? Lol. Just let me register you. Some of these names. Just let me register you when. Who cares about them? Lol. Clearly OP does, because they say they feel horrible and think they've effed up. Whether they did or not is a different issue, but I assume they do care about their best friend, and the fact that OP's actions would lead to losing their best friend was the obvious outcome. Mindless Profile 6115 added, OP should find better friends. That's my advice regarding this part. I agree, she definitely needs better friends. Meandering Duck said, we're not confused. You're just extremely selfish. You don't want people to be doing the right thing. You just want them to do what is best for you. I'm not sure who that is in relation to. Lilac OK said, the other girls nominated OP to tell Eric's girlfriend because she's a gullible busybody. If the rest of them felt so morally justified by their decision to inform the girlfriend, why would they need to do it anonymously? After all, they actually know the girlfriend because they went to the high school with her. OP could have left at any time if she was so disapproving of Emily's behaviour, yet she stayed to complain about her entire night. Spirited Block 250. You're the a-hole to your friend. Yes, but ultimately you did right by the innocent party, the girlfriend. Emily is a friend you have lost and morally you can afford to. Exactly. Navi Dane said, not the a-hole, but you made a choice. It was the one you thought was right, and likely most people would agree with you. But that choice naturally came at the expense of whatever loyalty you feel towards Emily. If you laid out the exact situation, your best friend hooking up with a guy who was in a relationship, but who you didn't know well, and had made the opposite choice of saying nothing, honestly, I'd say not the a-hole there as well. People may disagree, but it's reasonable for someone to act out of loyalty to their single best friend, even if she enables some guy in a relationship to make the wrong decision. I'm not condoning any of it at all, and you can assess whether that's someone you want to be friends with. But it would at least not be a crazy choice to choose your best friend in that situation also, even if you were upset about her actions. In this case, you decided that doing what you thought was right for the girlfriend, informed by your negative experience in the past, outweighed your loyalty to Emily. That's perfectly reasonable, but you risked and lightly ended your friendship to do so. But that doesn't make you the a-hole. I agree. Then Hikori no Sumi said, you are the a-hole. Emily's your friend. Effing a-hole. You didn't even have a solid reason to rat her out. I'm getting tired of people in this sub always typing NTA when someone is clearly an a-hole. You should have stayed out of it. Affectionate Parrot said, should have minded your own business. AITAH 4765100719 said, in my opinion, in my opinion, your friend's an a-hole for doing this, and you were an a-hole to your best friend. You have no stake in this. You didn't know the people. They weren't your friends. They weren't your friends. You weren't in an impossible position of choosing someone. You chose to violate the trust of your best friend. What about your best friend violating her trust, putting her in that situation where she's witnessing her so-called best friend cheating with somebody else who's in a relationship? Have you thought about that side? Because I think at the end of the day, when you make a conscious decision to do something and you've got people around you and you're not hiding it, you're basically making them a witness to your whatever it is you're doing. So I don't necessarily agree with this part. You actively told the girlfriend something that was obviously going to come back to your friend. You threw her under the bus. If she didn't lift up the bus, nobody would have been able to throw her under it. After basically agreeing you didn't want to do that with the friend group, You effectively said one thing and did another without fully thinking the other through. Whether you felt you had to do it for you is somewhat irrelevant to everyone else. Right, you need to live with the fact that your morals and ethics ended this friendship, and I would end my friendship with you. I despise cheating, and I've had people cheat on me while on the phone with me. I will never forget that sound. But as bad as that was, it doesn't even come close to feeling the need to watch what I have to say or do with my best friend for fear that they are going to F up my life if it doesn't comport with their stance on a particular topic. See, this is where I feel like someone who's been cheated on should know what it feels like to be cheated on. It's saying you don't have empathy for another woman that's going through something you've already been through. Are you so desensitized to feelings and to other people's emotions that you're willing to turn a blind eye and let someone go through something you've been through? It's a personal thing. I don't know. What do you think? Robbins8470 said, something you had absolutely no business telling them. F off. The girlfriend had a right to know, and if the friend wanted to tell her that her boyfriend is a cheating POS, she had every right to do so. It's clear that you care more about your friendships than doing what's right. And people like you who believe loyalty is more important than doing the right thing are the exact reason why evil continues to triumph. Just effing do the right thing and maybe people will stop being such humans. I can't speak freely like I won't because of algorithms and whatnot. Yeah, crappy humans. AITAH 4765107119 said, in my opinion, no, the right thing to do here was either shut the F up or tell the girlfriend everything because they've already decided that they will no longer be friends with this person due to this act. You really don't have other options. Either you stay friends or you don't, and one still makes you an a-hole. Just because you can rationalize it, agree with it, and or understand why someone did something doesn't change the fact that there are no saints in the above story except for the girlfriend. And even then, this post could have easily also had the added, the girlfriend didn't believe me and now wants to drag me through the mud. This isn't a black and white thing. Some people will not believe you and they will die on the hill of not believing you. And they will come after you for making up lies and trying to come between them. Domestic Cat Batman said, yes, you are the a-hole in this case. Look, there are things you do and don't do when it comes to close friends, and I'm not saying I'd stick with them through everything. Some things are red lines. This is not a red line that I would throw away my friendship for. You shouldn't have interfered. You basically threw away your friendship for doing the right thing, which is your choice, I guess. Like, really, where's these people's morals? But don't complain now that she's mad at you. This is the obvious outcome. Girl, boy, whatever. If her friend thinks that at the end of the day, what she did was right and that her friend should have stuck with her and, stuff your morals, her friend's got issues. Many Pirates said, and he's highlighted a part of someone's comment, not the a-hole for telling the girlfriend, but you are the a-hole for this part. And then in converted brackets it says, I was talking with the other girls there and we all agreed that we weren't mad at Emily, we were just mad at Eric. The comment is, she knew he had a girlfriend and still made out with him and then slept with him. Yeah. Do you really want to be friends with someone like that? How do you know she wouldn't come onto your partner? Girl, please ask them again. Changeling CD said, I suppose you did the right thing ethically, but you don't seem to have considered the obvious consequences it would have, ending your friendship with Emily, having to leave, etc., which is unfortunate. And then Charming Industry just says, you are the YTA, you are the arsehole. Nobody Important 84 added, sorry, but I think you are. You say it's your best friend and even are in her home, yet you go call someone and basically throw her under the bus. Well, let's stick a pin for a second. When she came to stay at Emily's house, I doubt she knew she was cheating with Eric. I don't think she knew that was happening. So that's neither here nor there. It doesn't mean because she's staying in Emily's house that she should just sit there and just pretend that she's not seeing what she's seeing if she's morally convicted, which it sounds as if that's what's happened. She chose to, I think she moved a little bit too fast. I definitely agree with that. I would have really pondered the ramifications of what's going to happen when I let this girlfriend know that my so-called best friend is cheating with Eric. I probably would have spoken to my best friend and said, you cut it off now, don't do this anymore, and just give her a chance. But if she's not going to do that, then rat her out. I wouldn't give a damn, because it's showing me that you have low moral values, and me and you can't hang if that's how you are, because I'm not on that train. So I get that part, but I feel like maybe she was trying to impress the girls, because she didn't push back when they said we all agreed that you should do it. Like, why should I do it? I'm new to the group. That's all the more reason why I shouldn't do it, because she doesn't know me from Adam. So I'm coming in now. You're going to make me look like I'm troublemaker. One of the older ones that knew Emily should have done it, but they didn't have the courage to do it. That's all, because they value the friendship more than they value having moral standards and ethics. That's what I think. Anyway, nobody important 84 said, sorry, but I think you are. You say it's your best friend and even are in her home. Here you go. Call, oh, I read that bit already. Go call someone and basically throw her under the bus. You have no idea who this chick is, yet you decide to avoid all high and mighty and pass judgment. 8. A couple that means absolutely nothing to you, but your friend? You felt like teaching her a lesson. That sounds like about right. How many things could she expose about you that she hasn't? Sometimes you should just mind your business, respectfully. Cowardly Lion Plan said, I don't support cheaters, but in this case, you're the a-hole. You told on your best friend instead of talking to her privately. That's what I said. If that was my best friend, I would have confronted her privately and made her say, listen, you cut this crap right now, or I'm going to tell, or I'm going to expose you. Simple. And if you're my friend and you respect me and you love me, and this is something that isn't a character flaw, it could just be a mistake because we're all humans, and you say, okay, you know what, you're right, let me cut, and you don't, and you cut it, and that's the end, we let it go and move on. For a best friend, you're a shit friend. You're a crap friend. Is it for a best friend? You're a crap friend. I have at least talked to her before telling her she needs to inform the man's girlfriend, or you will. Yeah. Navidane came back and said, a take that will probably be downvoted. But emotions aside, that's accurate. Honestly, if my best friend did something I don't like that involves someone else and I felt strongly about it, I'd expect to talk to them first and would expect the same in return. Over a rush loyalty to a person I don't know? Really? Meandering Duck came back and added, and what would talking to them first have accomplished here exactly? There is no confusion here. It is clearly what happened, and there is zero excuses for it. Pandamime 421 added, yeah, running immediately to the girlfriend, a stranger, rather than talking to the friend, seems like a strange first move. It's not like it was a time-sensitive situation requiring telling the girlfriend immediately. I agree there. She should have thought more about it and maybe given her friend a chance to do the right thing. After the fact, that is. Not the a-hole, but it's weird to expect Emily to react any differently than she has. She did a bad thing and you completely exposed her. So obviously, she isn't going to be friends with you anymore. The rest of the group made you do it because they knew you probably wouldn't be part of the group anymore and could just make you the fall guy. And that's what I think they did. They definitely made her the fall guy. Lamprobe May Save Us said, you are a rat and a snitch. You never betray your friends. Never. You're the a-hole. No Level 53, a bit harsh. You are a piece of S. So totally out of line. You deserve to have crashed your car on the way back to your... No, I don't agree with that. I never ever wish bad on anybody, no matter how... This person's emotionally unintelligent. I won't read the rest of that. Hikori no Sumi said, I feel bad for not having anyone in her corner. Yeah, I agree. Not even her friends. Rock 43 said, she's for the streets. Honorary Ticket 843 added, maybe you did the right thing. Did you expect her to thank you? Not the a-hole. Comfort number 408 said, so you projected your issues, baggage, being cheated on someone else by way of avoiding your accountability of what you did. But of course Emily has zero responsibility because she's a female in your head. opinion. Now, because someone has pointed out what an a-hole you are, namely the woman you are trying to defend, you think now, let's write a post on Reddit so someone can validate me, as Emily quite rightly isn't. Yes, you are a special kind of a-hole. AJ Wordsmith said, everyone sucks here. It was none of your business. You chose your principles over your friendship, which is fine, but losing your friend is the reasonable cost. You're the a-hole for whining about receiving the obvious and fair outcome of snitching on your friend. It's obvious why everyone else is an a-hole too. Pedantic Medic said, not the a-hole. When you get my age and see the damage this behaviour does, it becomes an easy thing. And that's the end of the post, so drop your comments below and let me know what you think. I've already left my commentary all through the video. Let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Would you have done what she had done and ratted on Emily, or would you have pulled her aside and given her an ultimatum? Me personally, that's what I said I would do, and I would stick to it if that was my best friend. If it's not my friend and I don't know the people involved, it's none of my business. I won't get involved because I don't know the dynamics. But anyway, this was wonderful. Let's hear what you think. Let me know.